Hi there. I recently got into makeup. I am 41 years old right now in 2023, and I got into makeup 2 years ago. I'm really proud of the journey that I've had, but it's fairly recent. So I still consider myself a beginner. I'm kind of getting into the intermediate phase, but there were some really important lessons I learned as a complete beginner. And so I wanted to share with you 6 really important things to know if you're beginning in makeup. When I started with makeup, really what I wanted to do was learn how to do eye makeup, maybe a little contouring. But what happened was I would do my eyes, nothing on the face, and it would look like crap because the face didn't match. So then I had to learn how to do face makeup, and then maybe some highlight and contour and liner, and one thing led to another, and I had to learn a whole face. You don't have to, but that's what ended up happening for me, and that's how I kind of got hooked on it, was that I kept learning more and more and more. When I started out, I have light skin. I'm going to explain what this means, but with a cool undertone. It was hard for me to find face makeup that matched, but here's number 6 in this list. You can return opened makeup. Do an internet search for it. Currently, here in 2023, CVS, a drugstore in the US, a pharmacy, accepts returns of open makeup. That's where I bought most of the makeup because I could earn coupons there for the prescriptions that I got filled. And it was really hard to find a foundation. I was new to foundation, so I didn't know what the different, thicknesses and textures was, but I was just trying to find something that matched. And I didn't want to buy a whole bottle of foundation that was not my color. So look up places that accept returned open makeup. Most of the sellers on Amazon accept them. Right now the CVS does. I know Ulta and Sephora does. I've had a bad experience at Ulta, so you can watch the video on that, but they're going to pressure you into signing up for their special whatevers. Sephora is all high-end makeup, so it's expensive stuff. There might be some cheaper stuff there as well, but it's not going to be drugstore makeup. So it's up to you. Go in your budget, but don't be afraid to buy and try foundations that if you can return the ones that you're not going to need. And this leads right into the 5th thing, which is undertone. I didn't know this was a thing in makeup until I had such a hard time finding a foundation that worked. Now, I'm not an artist, but everybody probably remembers from public school that there are 3 primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. Any color, though, can contain parts of those colors within it. So you can have a red that leans a little on the blue side, or you can have a red that leans to the warm side. Warm colors are traditionally red, orange, and yellow. Cool colors are traditionally green, blue, and purple. Let me demonstrate and you'll see what I mean. I have some crayons from a box that I've probably had since elementary school. Okay, one of them is just straight up violet. So this is the violet crayon. Hopefully purple shows up in here. Sometimes the camera doesn't pick it up. If you remember from grade school, there's also a red violet and a blue violet. Let me put the blue violet on here for you. The blue violet, it does look a little darker, but you can also see the blue in it. You can see that this is more of a reddish color, even though this is supposed to be the neutral color, so the color that's right in the middle. Now let me go ahead and put the red violet over here. It may take some practice, but for me, I can definitely see that there's some blue mixed in with this purple. It looks neutral compared to these two. It looks right in the middle. And this one definitely has some red or warmer tones in it. The crayons are labeled, so it kind of is cheating. But hopefully on this camera, you can see the differences. These are all purple, but this is cool tones, this is neutral, and this is warm toned. It's the same thing for all makeup, including face makeup. There's a lot of different ways to determine your undertone. There's videos that talk about the color of the veins in your wrist and like how to, tell your undertone. I found it easiest to find a foundation line that has the undertone in the name of the foundation. So it might have a C for cool or N for neutral. I believe CoverGirl has indicators on their, at least on the labeling on the shelves where I shop, that says whether it's a cool or warm toned. Try different things. It's not just about the shade. It's not just about how light or dark it is. It's also about the undertone. There can be, 10 different light foundations or 10 different deep foundations, but if they're all warm toned, they're not going to match. And you want it to be able to match not just the side of your face, your this part, but also down your neck. Leave it there for a little bit, let it kind of dry, and then see if it blends in or not. If you can see a bright orange line, it's not the right one for you. All right, I'm going to demonstrate this again using reds, just in case the purple, this is from a previous swatch makeup haul video. So it's a NYX liquid lipstick that doesn't really come off, so it's probably going to be there for several videos. All right, but here's our purple marker, right? I have these two reds. You might be able to tell right away that this one is very orange. This one is not quite as orange. And I'll show you. This one is much more warm. Now this lipstick, unfortunately, is not cruelty free. All of the stuff that I purchase nowadays is cruelty free. So once I use this up, I'm not going to repurchase it, but I'm using it to show you. Okay, so look at how orange that red is. It looks like it's murdered, like dripping down. Now I'm going to put on a red from Hard Candy right below it. It's pretty neutral, but I can see some kind of bluish leaning undertones mixed in. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. So if it has more blue, it's cooler toned. If it has more red, it's warm toned. This is definitely a more warm toned with that orangey leaning than this one. This one I see as a neutral or a cool toned. So pay attention to that. Watch some videos on how to find your undertone. You may think you've found it and then the foundation line that you choose doesn't have it or doesn't quite match it. But that leads me to the fourth thing that I've learned is that this takes practice. It takes practice. You've got to, I started because it was the start of the pandemic, or it was 2021, so it was like season 2 of COVID. Season 1, the terrifying part had already passed. So now we were in vaccine safety somewhat, and it was, I call it season 2 of COVID. But it was still scary. I was working from home. I still didn't go outside. That's when I tested all my makeup. I would do my makeup to just hang out in the house. I didn't go anywhere. It didn't matter if it was off. One day I said to my partner, I'm going to be trying on some makeup. I might look ridiculous. Just tell me if I have lipstick on my teeth, but please don't laugh at me. And he was extremely supportive about that. All right. So don't worry if you look ridiculous. Don't expect you to get a very pointed winged liner the very first try. You may not even get it the 10th try or more. Some stuff is just very difficult to do. You're going to learn placement. You're going to learn what colors work for you. Depending on your undertone, different colors are going to look different on you than the other people might. Also, how deep your skin tone is. Some colors are going to be very noticeable and opaque. Others are going to be kind of sheer, or for lighter skin tones, and it's not going to work as well. So you've got to customize it, but you've also got to practice. You've got to put the time into figuring out what you want. So if you want to wear makeup for your wedding, don't just plan on learning it that day, okay? Take a couple months of doing that makeup. Sometimes you just have a bad makeup day, or you hate it and you want to erase it, but don't be afraid to take risks. Try out different colors, try out different products. Remember, you can return them within a certain, time limit, even if they're open. So if you open it and you hate it, return it. But practice, practice, practice. There's a lot of things 2 years later that I just could not do when I started out. Like highlighter placement. Hello? It just boggled my mind. I'm still kind of working on contour. I don't really have any contour shade on now. I still not sure how to do bronzer. I understand the concept, but I haven't found a way to work for me. Brows I'm still working on. I used to just refuse to do brows. Anyway, practice. You're gonna learn more stuff. If you have a setback, like I have some texture on my skin, go watch some YouTube videos, go talk to a dermatologist, go talk to a makeup artist, and figure out what you might be able to do. Put in the time. Practice, practice, practice. You're not gonna get it right the first try. So don't put yourself down for that. Just keep going. Don't give up on it. The third one kind of links into some of the other ones here. And that's just that different looks are gonna look different on different people. It's not just the shade of your face or the undertone of your face. I have hooded eyes, which means I have this skin that just hangs over, and a lot of the time it wipes off the eyeshadow that's in the crease of my eye. I don't have a whole lot of space between my eyebrow and my lid. Some people have really high eyebrows. Some people have even more hooded lids. I swear everybody I see has some kind of hooded lids, and there's lots of tutorials out there for people with hooded eyes. But if somebody's got, a huge amount of space here, and you've got this much, it's not going to work. At least it's not going to work the same way. Practice it, adapt it for your face. So don't watch a tutorial and just expect that you trying it is going to look exactly like that tutorial. Don't get discouraged like that. Different people have different features, different nose shapes, different cheekbones. Okay? Don't be afraid to look at your face and not feel self-conscious. Just see it like an artist palette. You only have so much space, or a color looks hideous on you. Like for me, as a color collector, I have yellow lipstick. It looks terrible on me. It's just awful. I know it's a weird color, but it's like, what am I gonna, anyway. So yeah, be easier on yourself. Don't worry if your tutorial doesn't look exactly the same as someone online. Also remember, there are filters online, especially for skin. So you're probably not going to look just like the tutorial, especially if it's on something like TikTok that offers those filters. So just be aware. Practice, do what works for you. Adapt a tutorial if it's not working, or just say, okay, this isn't for me, and move on. The second thing I want to talk about that I wish I knew before is that you can use makeup meant for one part of the face on other parts of the face. I am doing a Project Pan this year, which is trying to use up a whole palette of makeup. And it's an eyeshadow. It's a purpley, has a couple whitish shades. I used those whitish eyeshadows as highlighter today. You can definitely see it here. All right, I set my lids with a purpley color before I put this pastel color over it. You can use lipstick. This is another Project Pan thing. You can use lipstick as blush if you blend it in. This is very bright, but that's okay. So it's waxy. The lipstick is kind of waxy, but if you wait for it to warm up on your skin, you can blend it in as blush. I was trying to experiment with purple blush, and I kept looking online for a purple blush that the color looked right for me. And then I looked at my massive purple eyeshadow collection, and I was like, duh, I'll just use the eyeshadow. Be careful for your lips, because as we wear off lipstick, it's because we're eating it, right? Or it's rubbing off on a glass or something, or a fork. But Some products aren't lip safe, so if you have like a liquid eyeshadow that you'd love to use as a lipstick, be careful with that. Also with expired makeup, like this lipstick is old. It still works as lipstick, but I'm not going to put it on my eye area because it might stain it, or like it's not meant for eyes, and it could be a problem to put it on eyes. But makeup is versatile. I mean, you don't have to use it for what it says it's for. And that kind of is liberating because, you know, you can use powders, you can use eyeshadows as eyeliner. If you get a small thin brush, you can just tap it in. You can also, you know, help that guide if you need a winged liner. You can put eyeshadow with a tiny brush in your brows if you're having trouble getting a brow product that's the same color. So experiment with what you have, especially if you don't have a large budget. A lot of your makeup may have multiple uses. All right, and the number one thing that I wish I knew in the beginning about makeup, there are no rules. There's theory, there's things that work for achieving certain types of looks, but there are no rules. If you want to wear yellow lipstick with green eyes and orange blush, go for it. Do it. Who cares? It's pretty popular right now to have kind of wacky colors. It used to be that makeup was much more neutral, except maybe for the 80s. But you don't have to do makeup a specific way. Even if other people think you look ridiculous, who cares if you like it? Practice, like I said before, because there's definitely going to be things that you feel look better on you than other things. But I used to think that if I tried to do makeup and didn't do it the right way, I was going to get ridiculed. But there's a million different ways to do makeup. And what I would have gone for at that point was a much more natural look. And to be honest, that can be hard to achieve. The theory is fairly simple, but it can take practice, just like I said. So don't worry about doing it the right way. Just do it. The more you do it, the more you're going to learn. You're going to say, oh, that didn't work. Or you're going to try something and go, wow, that looks a lot better than I thought it did. So don't get hung up on the rules of makeup. You have to put your blush here. You have to put your highlighter here. You have to put your eyeshadow in a certain corner. You can do all of those things, especially if you're enthusiastic about it. Try it. And if you're at home, who cares? Paint your whole face purple. Just go for it. Go for it. Practice it. Don't worry about the rules. You can try to follow them if you want. You don't have to. Just do what you feel. Follow the YouTube tutorials. Use TikTok for inspiration or Instagram. But give yourself the time and don't get too caught up in what you're supposed to be doing, because that really doesn't exist. So these are some really important things that helped me when I was starting out, and I wish, I had known more about them when I started. So if you're new to makeup or you're just having some issues with makeup, hopefully this helps. Thanks so much for watching. I'm continuing on this journey. My makeup isn't perfect, but I'm using YouTube to kind of help with my perfectionism, and it's like, okay, that's what I chose to do that day, so I'm going with it. That's me. In 10 years, I may really be horrified at what I'm posting online, but it doesn't matter. This is me now. This is my makeup for today, and we'll talk to you soon. Your girl, it's pretty neutral, but you can definitely see that they're, hold on, my lipstick just broke. Warm colors are okay, especially if you're enthusiastic.